I wanna ride with you. Always something special to remember. Every time we take a journey.
I'm Veronica, Imaginovator and host, and welcome to the Shaboo Prince Artist Studio, where we'll play hard and embark on your new Odyssey.
It's an inward journey of discovery using your enlivened sense of wonder. Each episode will offer you surprising experiences for deeper imagination and creativity to occur. This is your safe playground where you will discover and liberate your creative originality. Come on in and let's ride.
I wanna ride with you.
Hiya, it's Veronica, and this is your new Odyssey. And welcome to the Shaboo Artist Studio, a very, very special place. And this is a very special time for just you and me to play in the next half hour, examining and then stretching and expanding your imagination. Because the more imaginative you become, by default, the more creative you become. And when you become more creative, you start to see your world more, everything around it. And when you see more, you know more. And I'm really excited to introduce to you this week one of my most famous and favorite teachers that I think you know too. Its name, and we'll play with a new word, is TREECHER.
Hiya, I'm your assistant, Imaginovator Veronica, and I will help you get the most out of your new Odyssey, a program unlike anything you've ever seen before. Each episode is a grab bag of various creativity experiences and activities that will get you thinking in new ways and increase your curiosity for your imagination and creative self-expression. All you have to do is sit back, have an open mind, and watch. And I guarantee you will get something good for yourself out of the next half hour.
Yeah, so there are teachers that help us expand our knowledge and teach us new things. And then there are mentors who teach us through their experience. And there's something that has both, and that is a tree. And so I'm really excited to share with you my experience with my tree in my childhood backyard. It was a very unusual tree, very large. It was a redwood sapling that was unearthed during the building of the Hoover Dam here in California and somehow replanted in our backyard. And so it grew very big. Now, it takes about 2 people holding hands to go around the circumference of the base of the tree. So it was a big part of my life when I would be out back, which was my favorite place to be, and go crazy with my imagination. I couldn't help but it be a part of my imagination and creativity. And the longer I stayed and hung out around that tree, the more I noticed, the more I saw, and then the more I learned from this tree. For instance, I couldn't help but notice the strength of its trunk and how solid it was, the foundation, and what it was required for it to grow so tall. It's one of those trees you can see it blocks away. It overlooks the whole neighborhood. And then it got you asking questions about the root system underneath it and what that must be. And then how it took care of critters and birds in its branches and how it needed me to help take care of it. It taught me a lot about balance and growth and foundation. A lot of lessons that I could gain from this tree on how it successfully lived in all seasons, in this condition, in this context. And then I applied it to myself. Trees are amazing. Where is your nearest tree? Let's look around and consider that. Where is your nearest treecher?
Good teachers improve your knowledge. They inspire curiosity and provide meaningful learning experiences. Good mentors teach from their own experience as examples of achievement. Trees do both. One of Imaginator Veronica's powerful creativity secrets is consulting trees because they teach her a lot about balanced living, growth, perspective, movement, resilience, and much more. With a little imagination and creativity, trees do more than provide shade and beauty. They become TREECHERS, sharing helpful information and advice for every issue and topic. And lucky for you, they are everywhere. Where is your nearest tree? Let's now consult with your original creative self using an introspective question. Let's now awaken your heart with an introspective question. Notice any resistance you may feel or messages from the mind that may keep you from your deeper knowing. Let your heart respond. Your heart never lies.
Yeah, I'm so excited to share with you my TREECHER and how special this tree was, and trees tend to be. So next time when you're walking by a tree, just for a moment, say hi and notice how it changes your perspective in an instant. Suddenly your world becomes bigger. Suddenly you might have a little smile on your face. It's really powerful. Trees are powerful, and they're there with a lot of experience on how to live successfully in different contexts and seasons. There's a lot to glean from it. And the same goes for a lot of the exercises we have here in your new Odyssey for you to explore and expand your perspective. And one of those are our kaleidoscope journeys. And I think this is a good time for that. Now, be mindful of your mind during a kaleidoscope journey. If you hear it saying, this is silly, what are we doing, this is a waste of time, that's a good sign. It means you're going outside of familiarity. Let your heart explore. Your heart will want to explore and dive into color in your imagination and let it express itself freely. This is an exercise of your creative expression and your freedom. So I'm going to go ahead and put a QR code here where you can use your smartphone and scan it and download it. You can use it later, gift it to someone, it's yours. But you don't need to color to gain the benefit of a kaleidoscope journey. We have lots of stimulation for that. All you need to do, though, is be willing to journey. And by doing that, we can start that transition by simply relaxing wherever you're at. Soften your shoulders, soften your muscles. Now let's take a nice, supportive, deep breath in. Hold at the top, and a nice, long, releasing exhale. I don't know about you, but I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm a little different than I was a moment ago. And so I am honored to journey with you into the vastness of your imagination. I challenge you to see how far you can go, what visuals might pop up, what feelings might pop up, and how the mind might interject and maybe censor. This is a great time for that, but you and I will play in the safety of a kaleidoscope journey. Let's ride.
Kaleidoscope journeys will transport you to an alternate positive state, but only if you let them. This is a powerful pause button for the mind, so that you can use your heart to imagine in new ways. I will do all of the work. Just sit back and relax. Enjoy guided imagery, the power of color, inspirational music, and introspection.
Here's what our composition looks like so far, and today we will focus on coloring this fantastic character. Let's begin by contemplating this inspirational statement. Your fulfillment requires uncovering the full expression of self. It will resemble no one else. We'll begin connecting this fairy creature with the background using another hue of yellow. Let's use this golden color to get us in a joyful, optimistic mood, to remind us of all the gold that does indeed exist in our lives. Let's further settle into this kaleidoscope journey. Let's get more cozy into the power of color by contemplating this gold and the gold that is in reality. It's true. If you look out your window, there is a lot of glistening gold. A lot of wondrous gold. We are taking a little of that magic and applying it here in our kaleidoscope journey today. These kaleidoscope journeys do so much for us to relax, to think about possibilities, to have some time and space to let our imagination expand using these colors as triggers. When you see this color again in your daily life, let it serve as proof that the goodness and magic you experience in these kaleidoscope journeys exists there too. Color, wherever you find it, will remind you of your imagination and creative potential, but only if you let it. You are and always have been in partnership with color. Notice the colors at your work, or inside your car, or on your clothes. Colors are portals into other imagined worlds, and what we imagine is an alternate reality. That's why kaleidoscope journeys are so powerful. They are opportunities for new kinds of creative discovery. For instance, let your heart answer this question. What does this color remind you of? Does this color remind you of an object? And if it does, what is that object made of? And how may it feel in your hand? If this color reminds you of a memory or previous moment, how old were you? And that's why, my dear friend, I'm glad you're here. Because with just a little attention to color,
we can access a whole other part of us for fresh ideas, solutions, emotional rejuvenation. Let's take another deep breath and relax a little more into the world of this mustardy yellow. A world that invites any images or memories or ideas that pop into your imagination. Did you know that you are being creative with me here in this kaleidoscope journey? Being creative isn't the act of coloring. It is how you see the colorful world. And to celebrate that fact, I have chosen this muted purple, which happens to be the opposite on the color wheel of yellow. It's the perfect way to welcome all colors of the spectrum from end to end into this kaleidoscope journey. Just like that. Let's have a little fun and imagine in layers. Let's imagine on top of imagining. Let's imagine that we're outside and it's dusk. We look out on the horizon and see this purple mountain range. Use this color to imagine mounds of purple in the early evening. That's one layer of imagination. Now let's create another. Zoom in on the mountain range and imagine its surface. Are there any rock formations? Do you see any bushes and trees? Feel free to create bushes and trees and rock formations in your imagination and place them anywhere you want on the mountain range. Imagination is power. Creating is power. Practice using your power in these kaleidoscope journeys so that you can more easily use it to your advantage in your daily life. Here's another fun exercise. What is the first kind of bird that comes to your imagination? Now, color its wings and tail and beak with this purple color. Now gently place it somewhere on your imagined purple mountain range. That bird hops about on the ground comfortably camouflaged. You can no longer see it because you colored it the same color as the mountain, but you know it's there because you created it and placed it there. Now, begin to imaginovate what other forms of life may exist there. Listen for them with your heart and use this yellow as your flashlight to find them on the vast plain of your imagination. The more you wield your power of creativity, the more the mind will eventually catch up and then know that you are powerful. Now imagine living your day-to-day life with more of that knowing. All you have to do is keep visiting me in these journeys.
Blast from the Past is a spotlight on our early work. Have a laugh. The hair may be out of style, but the message is timeless. Hiya, it's Veronica, your tree translator here and artist at Shaboo Prints. Welcome to the Shaboo studio. And I've mentioned a couple times before how as a kid my family had a great backyard, and one of those features was the pond. And if you want to hear another funny story about that pond, I invite you to check out our video Imagineering and you'll see all about that. But another great feature in our backyard was a large tree. So often I'd go to the backyard and sit under that tree. It always felt so comfortable. I'd lie down, look up at its branches. I'd listen to the wind rustling its leaves, and the more I looked at it, the more there was to see. There was so much going on with that tree, as if it was showing me its features, kind of like a teacher, a tree teacher, a treecher. But I also found that the tree was very philosophical. It would say things like,
"How your life unfolds depends on your root system and what you feed it. What are your relationships with your environment and circumstance? Balance is the key to positive growth. For instance, if a branch grows without the proper support of the trunk, it will break off. Balance is nature's objective. Beauty comes from the core and the framework. Nothing stands still or stays the same. Movement is constant. Each leaf is unique in shape and color. Being unique is important. I need you. You need me. We need each other. Life is beautiful."
wow. And I've since learned that helpful information is everywhere. You just have to look for it. Most things that we need to deal with has already been dealt with by nature. Nature has helpful metaphors for everything. And that's why Shaboo Prints uses animals and nature in most of its designs, because it can connect with all people of all cultures and ages. I invite you to come to our website and you'll see what I mean, with tons of fun images inspired by nature in all of our greeting cards. And you can further support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Now you see, I bet you that bird has oodles of information on perspective, the horizon, leaving the nest, instinct, freedom. Another fun week. I'm telling you, keep coming back and we keep exploring your imagination and creativity. We keep exploring whether or not the mind is censoring and saying anything and interrupting your imagination and creativity and your heart intelligence. We keep quieting the mind, opening the heart with all of our exercises. So keep coming back here to practice that. And take a look around in your own environment and see where your nearest tree is. And give it a moment. Just consider it with your heart. See it with your heart. And see what it has to share. I have a feeling it has something very special to share with you. And that is just an example of how your world expands the more you become imaginative and creative. How the energy starts to increase. Your enthusiasm for your day or what's next starts to come back because the magic and wonder is returning. And we're simply just bringing you back to your original creative self, to the perspective you had as a child. We're just simply lifting the fog of adulthood that happens to us and our perspective, that's all. And so I'm really excited for what's ahead for you. Aren't you? But keep coming back here so that we can keep reminding you, because there's a lot of things out there that will remind you to close down, that your imagination and creativity are not practical, and we know now that's not true. So keep coming back here to be reminded of your superpower and the great equalizer that is your imagination. I'm excited. But don't forget, until we meet again, to live big and play hard.
For program resources and more, visit shabooprince.com.
Adventure begins.